What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Stefan here from AppStuff, and as I'm sure you guys know, Xcode 16 is finally here, and I'm sure a lot of you are already using it. But what you may not know about are these 4 awesome features that Apple added to Xcode 16 that are going to make our lives as developers a lot easier. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down these 4 features and doing live examples of them in this sample project that I have here. You guys don't need this code. You can follow along with any sort of existing project that you have, or you could start a new project to get this going. So let's go ahead and jump right in, guys. So first up, we have the brand new Previewable macro, which essentially allows us to inject state properties into our previews, whereas before we couldn't do that. So let's take a look at this example I have up on screen, guys. This is part of this new Twitter clone that I'm building, which is going to be available on the website soon. Make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But this feature is the ability to sort replies associated with the post. So this is the actual component in the application. This is the preview for that component. You guys will notice here that I can't change selection inside of the preview, but I can obviously change selection inside of the app. So how do I make it so that I can implement state into my previews? Well, that's where the new Previewable macro comes in. So if you guys notice, we have this binding property that represents our selected sort option. And ideally, we want to be able to do something like this. Add this state property here and replace this constant with the use of this state property so that it can be changed. So you guys will notice that if I go here and try to say $selected, it's not going to render. It's going to like infinitely get stuck here with this loading indicator, and it's going to give me this warning. State used inline will not work unless tagged with @previewable. So this is the new macro that I'm talking about here. I have it commented. If I just go ahead and uncomment that, guys, you'll notice that I can now have state inside of my preview to manage these selection values. And it will actually give me the ability to modify my selected value within my preview. So that's feature number 1. Super easy, super simple, and it makes testing the functionality inside of our previews way easier and way better. And before we hop into the next feature, guys, make sure you check out the website at stefancodes.com. The link is in the description. We have a bunch of amazing professional courses here where we build real-world projects and also do deep dives into fundamentals of both Swift and Swift UI to help you level up your skills as an iOS developer. So whether you're looking for a job or just trying to release an app to the App Store, or you're just doing this stuff for fun, we have something here for everybody. And if you guys want to become a member with us, you can get unlimited access to all of our pro content for less than a coffee a day. So you get thousands of dollars worth of access to content for that low monthly cost. So make sure you guys check that out, whatever your goals are as an iOS developer. We also offer coaching services. And if you guys have any questions about this stuff, we have a chat feature on the website, or you could fill out a contact form and email me directly. So let's go ahead and jump back into the video, guys. The link for all this stuff is in the description, so make sure you check that out. So next up, guys, feature number 2. This is one of those quality of life improvements we didn't know we needed until Apple gave it to us. So now we can just copy and paste code to create new files. So if you look here, I have my notifications view, and then within that, I have my view model. Well, if I just go ahead and hit copy here and go to my view model and hit Command V to paste it, it will automatically create that file for me with the comment headers and all of that awesome stuff. I just need to go back here and delete that guy, and you're good to go. So that's a small feature, but for me, it's the little things, man. I really love that one, and I use it all the time. So feature 3, we have asset searching and usage tracking. So guys, if I go into the assets folder of my project and I want to know where I'm using any of these colors or these images here, we have this awesome new feature where, let's say I want to see everywhere I'm using this Apple icon. I can right click on it and say find references to item. And in the search, it will then find everywhere I'm actually utilizing that icon. And it could be the image resource usage of it or the raw string usage of it as well. And guys, this doesn't just work for icons and images, it also works for colors. So I can find references to colors as well. And this could be super helpful if you ever want to do like a find and replace or just see where you're using things in your asset catalog. So that's another awesome feature there that I have actually been using quite a bit now. And I saved the best for last, guys. Feature number 4, Xcode just got an awesome new debugging feature, and I'm going to show you guys how it works live. So I'm going to hop into this feed service I have, and I'm going to put a breakpoint here and run the code. And I just want to show you guys this new graphical interface that Xcode has for viewing the stack trace of your function calls. It's super awesome, and it really helps you debug your code a lot more efficiently. So guys, check this out. If you just click on this little icon down here, this little 3 bars, backtrace in editor, we get this new scrollable view of the backtrace of this function calls. So here is the originating breakpoint. We call fetch posts in this feed service, right? And then we see that the view model implements that function. So this is the caller for this function. And then it goes even a layer deeper. And I ultimately call this function in this task modifier with viewModel.fetchPost. So we can see the entire stack trace of our function calls, which ultimately makes it easier for us to debug our code or navigate and understand how things work, where they could potentially be crashing or slowing down. So if you've ever been lost in an endless stack trace, guys, this feature is an absolute lifesaver. With really large code bases that get really complex, this is something that I've been using quite a bit to start figuring out the source of a problem when I'm debugging. And let me just go hit resume there and get the feedback up and running. And that's it, guys. So super awesome feature there. And that's actually going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Leave comments below with what you think of these features and let me know what your favorite one is. And if you like this one, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell to get notified when we post new videos here at AppStuff. So thanks for watching this one, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.